Warning. This is not a safe space. Leave your bullshit and feelings at the door.
Are men really stealing labor from women? Is that a thing that's happening in today's world? I don't think so. But how about we fucking talk about it?
It's time for the most raw and unfiltered experience on the internet. So kick your feet up and grab a cold one. You have just entered the Man Cave. And now, here they are, winners of the self-proclaimed International Greatest Men Alive Award, Brad and Terry.
Hey, thanks for joining us here in the Man Cave. I am Brad.
And I am Terry.
And make sure to check us out online over on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and listen to us on Google Play, SoundCloud, and on YouTube. But if you want the full, no bullshit experience and the ability to win prizes, you're going to have to subscribe to us over on Patreon. We'll talk about that more in a little here in a little bit.
What's for beer today?
Man, hey, we're just going with a classic Blue Moon brewed in Denver, Colorado, man.
Always a crowd pleaser. I love me a good Blue Moon, yeah.
Last place we lived, they had a nice little brewery that they opened up completely. That's all. You get about 15 different types of Blue Moons on tap.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah,
yeah,
not bad.
So what do we? Today we're starting our 6-part series of the male patriarchy, and the first topic that we have, because we've broken down the thought of a male patriarchy into 6 main points in each episode. For the next 6 episodes, we're going to be going into each of these 6 main points.
Yeah, we didn't make the 6 points.
Right, we did not.
The 6 points have already been made.
Right.
We are just taking each one of those points and pretty much trying to deconstruct, to debunk, give you the ammunition that when some crazy feminist comes up to you and tells you, you're just a dirty patriarchal man, you can say, slow your tits, and let's talk about this, and I'll tell you exactly where you're wrong.
Right. So the first point today, in a nutshell, is basically that men are stealing the labor rights from women.
Yeah. So when you read the definition that feminists have laid out of what are the 6 points of the male patriarchy, the first point they try to make is the fact that there is a patriarchal mode of production in which women's labor is expropriated by their husbands.
Expropriated.
Yes, that's a very fancy term for stolen.
I'm too dumb to understand.
Yeah,
okay.
and it took me a minute. And it took me a minute to really try to understand and how are we stealing the labor from women?
It makes no sense. Maybe I'm interpreting it wrong, but in my understanding of what they're trying to say, they're basically saying that we're not allowing women to work.
And that's the only thing that made sense to me, that somehow with, mothers staying at home and in the typical role of a woman being a stay-at-home mom, when you have children, a lot of times the woman will end up giving up her job for a couple years in order to raise the child for maybe a couple of, it depends on how long they decide, 1, 2, 3 years. Mm-hmm. And somehow we are capitalizing on that, which gets into a whole nother segment of why women stay at home to raise children. I mean, to me, it's one of the best things that a mother can do for their child is to stay at home to raise them for the first few years.
And we've talked about gender roles in the family and everything.
Yeah,
and
a couple episodes ago.
It's not necessarily always going to be the role of the woman to do that. There's plenty of dads who do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know any, but I know a couple.
I do know some,
men
yes,
who are stay-at-home dads. I know a guy who retired, and he was able to retire decently early in life, and then he met a new woman, and he had a child. He's had actually a couple children with her, and he is a stay-at-home dad because he is getting a pension from his last job that he retired at, mm-hmm. and he just has the ability to she works. He gets that pension all the time, and he's just a stay-at-home dad.
And even without the pension, there's still men who do that.
Yes.
It's not just because he has a pension that he's going to do that. There are plenty of dads out there who don't get pensions that are stay-at-home dads.
Yep. So for me, what I try to do to debunk things is actually look up facts.
Okay.
To debunk them. I think that's the best way to go about an argument with somebody where you have a different belief than what they do, is simply try to find some factual evidence that either will support or not support your claim.
100%.
So The Pew Research Center was absolutely amazing in this, and there's a few very interesting points that I read about women staying at home and women in general, as far as working and education and all these things. That their research data showed that from 1989 to 2012, the amount of stay-at-home dads has doubled.
Okay,
which again, I think society even now supports more than it ever has the fact of having a stay-at-home dad.
Right.
And I support that. I mean, shoot, if my wife went out and started making banging money, I would quit my job in a heartbeat, stay at home. I have 2 boys, raise my boys. I would keep the house clean. I would work out every day and keep that ass tight. I would do everything she wanted me to do without asking a single question.
But you're keeping that ass tight for me.
No, of course.
No, but I think that I know you have plenty of other facts on here that you have, but I think that one alone
debunks it.
Debunks it, because how can you say that men are stealing the labor rights of women when over the course of time,
I believe it was about 33 years.
Okay, and regardless of the amount of time, over the course of time, that it's just kind of gone in the opposite direction of that.
Absolute opposite direction of what they're claiming.
Right.
Men are staying at home more often than ever.
But I'm interested to hear all the rest of your facts.
Yep. And then the number of stay-at-home moms has declined from 49% in 1967 to 23% in 1999, and then that number in 2012, it had ticked back up to 29%. But really, like when you look at it, there was a 20% drop in stay-at-home moms from 1967 to 2012.
Now here's
that's 45 years.
Here's the devil's advocate argument though. And I'm interested to hear what you say about it. Could that just be because due to financial issues the woman is forced to work? Because it doesn't necessarily say that because she's no longer a stay-at-home mom that there's a stay-at-home dad in the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think even society nowadays supports that supports women, that they're just going back to work.
Right.
That they're not forced into that patriarchal, only the man works, the woman stays at home. The woman is going back to work and now providing, regardless, maybe they have to make a 2-income household in order to make ends meet. My wife has always been, while our kids were young, a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. And now that my kids are older, both of them are in elementary, middle school age, stuff like that, she's been able to go back to work. She's going back to get another degree. And so, I mean, that's what we've done. We just used our time wisely, too. Instead of my wife just staying at home, she stayed at home, but also became a college student while being at home.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong here, because I'm single, I'm not married, but it would be definitely a conversation that you and your wife would have before anyone decided to be a stay-at-home parent.
Yes.
And I don't think that any man that I know would say, no, you are going to be a stay-at-home mom.
No.
You are not going to work. I can't think of any man that I know that would say that.
And the reason that my wife stayed at home and I went to work is because of the male patriarchy, and I made more money than she did.
No,
Bada boom!
I'm pretty sure that y'all agreed on it.
Yeah, we very much did. Agreed on it, and it was something that a lot of women, I think, want to do. They want to take care of their child.
Yeah, it's a motherly nature thing.
It's a very nurturing thing for them to want to take care of the child. I don't think there's, very rarely is there a mom out there that's like, man, you know what? I cannot wait to take my kid to daycare when he's 2 weeks old so I can get back to work.
Right.
No, most mothers want to stay at home and raise their kids for as long as they could.
Yeah.
And if they could afford it, they would love to be able to be a stay-at-home mom.
For sure. I think so. I mean, I'm not a woman. I can't speak for them.
Right. But I actually think that most families, if they prioritized properly, they can make it work. But they are so, people in society are so obsessed with wanting things. Mm-hmm. Right? They got to keep up with people that they're like, well, there's no way I can't work because we got to pay this bill. We got 2 car payments because we have 2 new cars.
$300 cell phone payment.
$300 cell phone. If they just scaled back some, you'd actually be able to afford to allow somebody, whether it be the husband or the wife, the mother or the father, stay at home and raise the child in the home
If that's needed. It may not be necessary.
Yeah.
Depending on the child's age and how your situation is. But let's move on to some other facts.
Yeah, for us, it was a no-brainer to have my wife stay at home. She wanted to do it. I was perfectly fine with. We were financially fine with her staying at home.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to the next point of facts against this, right? The educational attainment of women since 1960 has dramatically changed as well. In 1960, 49% of women had less than a high school diploma. 34% had just a high school diploma, and only 17% of women had some kind of college.
So not many higher education at all.
Hardly any at all. A very vast bulk of them, 49 plus 34, you're looking at over 80%. You're looking at 83% of women either didn't graduate high school or had only graduated high school in 1960.
Okay.
In 2011, only 20% of women had less than a high school diploma. 21% had just a high school diploma, and almost 60%, right at 59%, had some kind of college.
Those percentages are almost flip-flopped.
Yes, they showed it in a graph, and like you said, the graph was literally a mirror image of the other side, in the span of 40, 50, 51 years.
About the same span as the other statistic that you had, and it plays exactly into what we said at the beginning, that it's debunked completely just based off of the statistical facts here.
It's debunked specifically off the first statistic of the fact that stay-at-home dads have doubled.
The only issue that you're going to see is the higher education of what these women have majored in their higher education.
Yes, I have one more fact, but then we can talk about that.
Okay.
And at least touch on it a little bit, right? And the last fact that I found from them, right, new mothers in 2011 showed that 61% either had some kind of college or a bachelor's degree or more. 61%
of mothers.
Of new mothers.
Yeah.
Have that education level. They've either been to some kind of college or actually have their degree and even more. Debunked. But like you said, a lot of it also plays into what they are majoring in college.
Right. I know a couple of years back, and I don't know if it's still a thing because I don't go on social media all that often, but there was this picture floating around that I had seen so many places of why are there no women in the STEM fields? And it's like they're trying to blame somebody for not having women in the STEM fields when women aren't majoring in STEM fields.
Yeah. It's their active choice to not major in that.
Right, and major in whatever you want. I'm all for you going for whatever interests you. I feel like our education system should be centered around that.
Yes, but just realize that all majors are not created equal.
No.
Not at all. Never, ever, ever have they ever been equal. Because you major in underwater basket weaving does not mean that you're going to earn a six-figure salary.
The
when
underwater
you leave
basket
college.
weaving is an extreme example. But even when you look at it, how many women do you see that are going through college? You ask them what they major in, and they say psychology.
Yes, or my personal favorite.
What was it? The young child
early childhood education.
Right,
has been voted and shown to be many times probably the worst thing financially that you can major in based on how much debt you're going to get yourself into and the lack of pay in that career field.
Right.
And I have a prime example of it.
What's
another one she's going to shoot me for?
Oh, no.
My wife, when she first went to college, she majored in early childhood education.
But I think that it's just you look at the stats and it proves that this whole idea that men are stealing labor away from women is false.
Yes.
But maybe the women are kind of stealing it away from themselves is the way we can look at it. Because they not all women, there's plenty of women who are driven and do great things, but a large majority of women nowadays are majoring in dead-end fields, and they are choosing themselves to be stay-at-home moms. Not that there's anything wrong with the latter, but you can't blame men for it.
No, you made the choice.
Right.
Yeah, like you said, I've yet to find a man who is out there that literally forced his wife to stay at home.
Can't think of one.
Can't name one, can't think of one, and I would invite any man to tell me, hey, I raise their hand, I told my wife, no shit, she's staying at home.
I would love to talk to them.
Yes.
Not even in an aggressive way. I just want to see why.
Pick their brain, figure out why. But yeah, when you major in fields such as psychology, sociology, early childhood education, you're not going to make a lot.
Right.
And it may not be a very rewarding field. And I'm not saying that all rewards are financial, but when you look at when your kids are going to go back to school, or not even that, when you're going to put your kid in childcare, how much money childcare is going to cost versus how much money you're going to make. That was one of the big decisions why my wife at one point did not go back to work because it was going to cost just as much or more to put my kid, my youngest, in childcare versus the money she made. And she had a degree in the field. She had years of experience working at a preschool. But when she went to apply, she realized that the money wasn't there. So now she's back. She's working again outside of that career field. She is working in a marketing field, and now she's going back to school for something else.
Right.
So
I think the moral of the story is
you're full of shit. That's the moral of the story. You are full of shit.
You're full of shit. And just because you and your girlfriends talk about psychology while you drink pumpkin spice lattes doesn't mean you should major in it.
No, not at all.
Right.
Oh, man. Speaking of dumb decisions, you've made at least 3 of them. Yes. But I won't hold them against you.
But I made one good decision.
Yeah, that doesn't make up for all the other ones.
No. So part of me knew the Browns were going to lose, okay? Because they're the Browns. They still have their best start in years by not being 0-2, but I did win the Bears prediction.
You did.
So I'm on the board at least, but my fantasy season is looking rough now.
Okay, what happened?
So Greg Olson's injured, and he's out for at least 5 weeks, and that's huge because that's my number 1 tight end.
Okay, can you pick somebody else up?
I can.
Is there somebody else available?
I can, yeah, but
it's not as good.
No one's going to put up points in the tight end position that's out there now that I'm going to be able to replace him with.
Yeah,
really. And then the other one is Doug Baldwin, and man, that's one of my big wide receivers too. So two people who are gonna put points up are now gone.
How long's he out for? Don't know, or
they haven't said anything, at least that I've been able to find, of how long they're expecting him to be out for. It's a knee injury, so it could be the whole season.
Yeah, very much could be.
Who knows? It's not a tear from what I read. I can't find it now, but from what I read, it was like so it's a MCL sprain. So it's not a tear, but still anything with a ligament in your knee,
anything that has the last 2 letters of C and L.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
It may not be good.
Yeah. So
all right,
we'll see what happens.
Did you win your week though, or did you?
No, I horribly lost.
Oh.
Yeah, because they got listed on injury reserve before I had a chance to change anything, and then I didn't have the time to get to my team to actually put anybody in their spot. So I had 2 guys on my roster that had 0 points. Yeah, so it wasn't a good week, but I'll chalk it up to an L. There's still plenty of weeks left.
Yeah,
and I'll just have to see what I got going on.
My dad always had this saying that a horse that shits fast doesn't shit long. So, 1 loss right now is not that big of a deal.
No.
It's not that big of a deal.
No, it's not. But let's make some predictions.
All right. Here we go.
So let's go to the Monday night game. We have the Steelers at the Bucks, and let's come back to that one.
Okay, find another one that does not involve the Browns.
Okay, got it. Okay. We have the late night game on Sunday is the Patriots at the Lions. I'm taking the Patriots.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. You know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start making, next week, I'm going to make 2 picks. And those two picks cannot be picks that you make.
Okay.
And it's going to be the Patriots and the Browns every week. So you can't get the easy ones.
Fair enough. Well, let me throw it at you this way. The Steelers right now are 0-1-1.
How many? Is this a record of how many teams have had ties?
No, that's how the Browns are.
I know, but there's two teams in the NFL right now.
Well,
in 2 weeks,
if one team has a
tie,
tie, another team has to have a tie.
Okay, true. I'm just a big dummy.
And the Bucks are 2-0.
Okay.
This is the number 1 ranked offense versus the number 2 ranked offense. So there's going to be some points put up in this game.
Yeah. All offense, no defense.
No defense.
Who's got the better defense?
The Steelers, but not by much.
Okay.
Yeah. So
fair enough of a pick. Go for it.
I'm giving it to the Bucks, 3-0 start. Just because they're from my home state.
No, I know.
Yeah, got to. So we got the Patriots and the Bucks winning.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it does help my chances that the Lions are 0-2. It does help my chances a little.
No shit.
I'm trying to get on the board here.
It's not about it. It's about having fun, making some picks, not just picking the easy ones. The people want to hear some good quality picks, not just picking Browns and Patriots all the time. Come on. I'll let it slide for 2 weeks in a row, making an easy pick from here on out. There's no more easy picks. Better start doing your homework, buddy.
Okay. Got
all right.
So we'll pick closer standing teams next time.
Beat the crap out of you. Bully around.
Oh. Okay, yeah, the article you posted about the bully thing.
Right, yeah, so I just posted it to Facebook a little bit ago, but I scrolled across this and was like, man, if I can nominate a parent right now for Parent of the Year, she has got, so far, I haven't come across anything that's been close to as good as this. So this mom forces her 5th grade son to wear a shirt that says, I am a bully, and big, like she must have taken a Sharpie and wrote that thing in there and put a big old frowny face on the back of it as well. Right, so she wanted to make sure that she could teach her 5th grade son a lesson when she found out from the school that he had been bullying other students, doing things like calling other kids stupid and idiots. So to nip it in the butt, she literally made a shirt and made him wear it to school and posted pictures on social media of her son wearing this shirt that says, I am a bully, with the frown.
You know what's going to happen to her?
I hope nothing.
And this child abuse.
No, bullshit.
I think it's bullshit. You think it's bullshit. That kid don't think it's bullshit.
I don't give a shit what that kid thinks.
And the court system ain't going to think it's bullshit either. She's going down.
She literally said the words, I'm an old school parent. I was like, yes.
That means he got smacked, too.
He probably did. He probably got his ass whooped when she found out that he had been bullied. But it's such a good thing to learn. Like, my kids are kind of around that age, and I would be devastated too, because I think we have spent, as parents, lots of time trying to instill in our kids that, you look, everybody's different, not everybody's the same, and that's a good thing, and that you shouldn't be going around calling kids names and being an asshole to them.
Right. I think I'm not a parent. I don't have kids, but I think I would be more devastated to find out that my kid was being a bully than if they were bullied themselves.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. I would be mortified, like you said, because we've spent so much time basically trying to teach him, why we don't do that.
Right.
I mean,
you'd have to look at yourself and be like, what did I do wrong? Why is my kid doing this, And
so that's why it's such sweet punishment.
Right.
She sent him to school wearing the shirt. She posted the picture on social media. And the reason she posted on social media is because she's probably she was from Texas. I'm not quite sure what town, but I bet it's a small town in Texas. Mm-hmm. And I bet she posted it because she's probably friends with other parents. And she said she wanted to let other people know that he'd been doing it, and so they could find out if he had done it to their kids. And so his ass would go apologize. Man, that's just some classic. I don't even know why they say it's old school parenting.
No, because it's the way it should be done.
It's exactly how it should be done. Exactly how it should be done. But yeah, I just wanted to hit on that a little bit. Like I said, we posted it to the Facebook page, but I just think that's just a parenting win right there. That's going to teach a good lesson to that kid.
Yeah, and it's something for me to keep in the back of my head for if maybe I have a spawn one day.
Yeah, but you got to find a honey first.
Yes, and that brings me into a point that I wanted to bring up with you where I need a little bit of help
Oh, all right. Hey, hold on. I don't have a therapist couch in here for you to lay on, but
that's fine.
yeah,
So
let's go with it.
let me set the stage here.
Okay.
I'm a single dude. I live...
Strikingly handsome, too.
Stop, you're going to make me blush. I live in the heart of downtown
Yes, you do.
in a real bougie apartment.
Yes.
I got a balcony looking over the harbor. It's got a fireplace with my TV mounted over it. It's wonderful.
Punani Central.
That's what you would think. Therein lies my problem. So this has to be declared a judgment-free zone, even though I know it's not.
I won't judge you, but I can't say what other people might when they listen.
That's fine. So I'm probably stronger than them anyway, so come judge me to my face.
All right.
So basically, due to the nature of my personality, I have a tough time meeting new people because I inherently hate everyone.
Yeah.
And if I try to go downtown to meet somebody new, I find myself just being very introverted, not wanting to talk to anybody, and as weird as this may sound, coming from a handsome, buff man like myself, I look at a lot of girls and think, oh, she's out of my league. I'll leave that there,
Yeah.
right? And I know in the back of my head that shouldn't be the way that I approach these things at all.
No. You gotta go with confidence.
And I don't know how to solve this problem. So what I did was not exactly what every millennial would do in this situation.
But a good proportion of them? I think I know where you're going.
No, because most millennials are going to do the Tinder thing. And
True.
And I can't bring myself to do it. I have had Tinder on my phone before. I don't at the moment. But even when I would get a match on Tinder, it felt so strange to me to meet somebody like that and then just be like, hey, come over, and then boom, here's this new person at my door. This is the first time we're meeting. So it felt very strange to me. I've never actually met up with anybody from there. It's always just a couple conversations back and forth, and then I'm like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Right? So I did the next thing a millennial who's very versed in the internet would do, and I went online and went to google.com.
Oh, you asked Google.
And simply, because I want to do this myself, kind of, what's the old-fashioned way? You go out and meet people face-to-face? Yuck. But that's the way I want to do it because I'm in the prime location to do so. And I asked Google for some tips to picking up women at a bar.
Oh, no.
And I've got a few points here that I found that I want your opinion on, and then I want and then I want your overall advice. So,
oh Lord,
we'll run through them kind of quick.
Okay.
Okay. I have 9 points.
Yeah.
So I want to go through them kind of quick. That way we don't spend 30 minutes on this. So the first point is pop the cherry, and not in the sense that you would think. It basically just states to, as soon as you walk into a bar, talk to the first girl that you see. That way you just kind of pop your own cherry,
Yeah, get comfortable with talking to people you don't know.
Right. But I think the kind of wall that I'm hitting here, or not hitting, is if I put myself in the girl's shoes and this random guy walks into the bar and just walks right up to me and starts talking to me, I'm going to look at him like, who the fuck are you, dude?
Yeah.
Like, get out of my face.
Yeah.
And you can never open with, can I buy you a drink? Right? Because then you're just a creep. No matter how you phrase it or who you are, you're a creep. You could be Robert Downey Jr. I don't know why he came into my head. He's a beautiful man. But he walks in, hey, can I buy you a drink? You'd be like, yeah, but you're a creep. So, what do you think of that strategy?
I understand where they're coming from because it's a breaking the ice kind of strategy to get you
for
comfortable.
yourself.
For yourself.
Right.
But yeah, she'll probably definitely, like you said, it very well might last about 2 sentences. How you doing? Where are you from? And she'll be like, what?
Right. Yeah.
What are you doing? So yeah, a little strange. I understand, like you said, where they're coming from, but it might just be kind of
okay. Point number 2.
It might be kind of hard, and
no, it won't. Point number 2.
All right.
Position yourself strategically, and basically what that's saying is to position yourself at the highest point of female traffic. So
Okay. Yeah,
in the place that it said to hang out, and this seemed the creepiest to me.
Right by the door.
No, by the women's restroom.
Ooh. Yeah, that's creepy. Don't do that.
But what it did say, and this was a good point, I think, was don't just walk around the bar aimlessly, because you will be seen.
You look like
you'll be seen as the bar reject.
Yeah.
So I think that's the point I'm going to take away from that.
Yeah.
Claim myself some territory near the bar, but I'm definitely not hanging out by the women's restroom.
No, that's just, yeah, that screams creeper status all over it.
It's like, hey, you just walked out of the bathroom. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? Did you wash your hands?
Yeah, can I smell
I
them?
didn't wash mine. I got dick fingers.
Can I smell your hands, please? Okay, third point. You must approach. And this holds true. I know this is a fact because I've been out to bars for as long as I can remember, and never once, well, maybe a couple times, a woman has approached me, but 99% of the time, you have to be the one to approach. And it stressed coming up with an opening line, but it also stressed not stressing about it too much.
We've given you plenty of openers.
I know you have another one. Let's just hear it now.
Oh, you want it now?
Yeah, just give it to me now.
Oh, well.
That's not what she said.
No.
Let's hear your pickup line of the week.
Well, in the spirit of the fact that my oldest son and I we're going camping this weekend. If you stick around for the after the show and get a little piece of ass, we're going to talk a little bit about that because I went shopping for a few things that we needed for camping, mainly a cooler, and we're going to talk about fucking coolers and people. And I don't understand why they're buying what they're buying. But in the spirit of camping, I found this one. I was like, oh yeah, it just fits, man.
All right, let's hear it.
You look at her and be like, oh man. I won't start with "Hey baby" because you told me like just stop. It's kind of weird.
We've already been a creeper 3 times. You might as well continue to be a creeper.
You called her mom a beaver. You called her dad a terrorist. You opened up with she was a trans. So,
oh god.
Hey baby, you must be a campfire because you're super hot and I want s'more.
Ooh,
it's so bad. It's good.
So the others, I have heard variations of them before, but that's a new one to me.
Yeah, there you go.
It's slightly original.
I'm telling you, there's a woman out there who appreciates a cheesy ass pickup line.
There's got to be.
And I think as long as you throw it out and knowing it with a little cheesiness to it, and as long as she's down, I mean, you can't gauge if she's going to be down with the cheesy pickup line.
Yeah.
But as long as you go with a little cheesiness and have a little chuckle afterwards, I think it's a good little icebreaker.
Look at me, man. I don't look like no matter how much I try to be cheesy, I'm going to come off as creepy. It's like I'm just a big, awkward white dude.
Just flex.
Yeah, just rip my shirt off in the middle of the bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
All right. I imagine me getting thrown out of there, but then like a wave of girls just running out like the Beatles.
Just scream where you're going to next. All right. There's my pickup line.
Next point.
Go.
Be aware. And this is the hardest part for me.
Okay. And
it says basically, don't be oblivious to girls who are interested in you.
Yes.
This is the hardest part for me.
You don't know?
Because I can't tell you how many times I've been like, say, out at the mall with my friends, and we pass by a group of people, and then one of my friends turns to me and goes, dude, that chick was checking you out.
Oh,
and I'm just like, what? Like,
yeah.
I had no idea.
If she looks at you, right? Because they're going to scan the bar.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they're going to look, and just like you scan the bar, right? You scan the bar for good-looking women.
Right.
They scan the bar for good-looking dudes.
Uh-huh.
And so if they're scanning and you make eye contact and then she keeps going, there's a reason why the both of you made eye contact. You probably caught her looking at you.
Yeah.
And then she didn't want to seem like a creep and just keep staring at you, so she kept moving her eyes.
So I'm the only one that seems like a creep because I keep staring at her.
Don't keep staring at her, but keep like peek back every now and again out of the corner of your eye and just see if she looks your direction again. If she looks your direction again, you're in like Flint. Telling you.
Just going for the kill.
Just go in. Yeah. Well, I mean, don't go like literally for the kill and just be like,
I'm just going right for the neck.
Just go in and be like, hey, baby, do you want...
baby?
Yeah, you got to start with it and just like, you want to do something tonight? Just go in for it.
Yeah, just lay it all out there.
Yeah. If you ask 100 women, you're bound to find one that's just like, yeah, that's what I was looking for tonight. Let's just make it happen.
Okay.
No, I don't do that.
Okay.
You're going to get, if you thought your rejection factor was high then, you have to hit the lottery to find that one.
Okay.
But I understand very much where they're coming from, that you do have to be very aware.
Right. Okay, next point. Watch the clock. It says show up early. I've always been a guy to show up at the bar or the club late. Like, I don't roll out till 11.
Yeah.
And they said show up around 9 because all the other dudes show up at 11 or 12.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes kind of sense, but
I think there's a lot of women out there that don't show up at 11 o'clock either. They go around kind of bar hopping a little bit earlier in the night.
okay.
There's some. I'm not saying all. I'm sure there's some that pregame at home and don't make it to the bar either till 11 o'clock at night. But I think there's plenty out there that are looking to have a 9 to 11 kind of a relaxing time. And if something happens, something happens, you know?
Right.
If they meet a guy at 9:30 at night, they might just chill the whole night with him.
Fair enough. So the next 3 points we're going to go through kind of quick because they're self-explanatory.
Yes.
And I know these, but it was be happy.
Yeah.
Because women gravitate to people having a good time.
Yeah.
But if I go out by myself, kind of weird to just be happy.
Yeah.
Because I have nobody to interact with. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, whatever. That's something for me to have to figure out how to be happy. That comes just from me walking up to people and saying hi.
Yeah.
Control your booze. I love my booze. So, that one might be tough for me. Especially since I'm going to pregame at home before I even head out.
Yeah. I think you just can't get sloppy.
Right.
Don't get sloppy.
Right. Next one. Avoid cock blocks and don't cock block yourself. And I always knew about avoiding the cock blocks, and then I had to think about it. I was like, oh yeah, you definitely can cock block yourself. And the examples that it gave was for avoiding cock blocks, stay away from a group of girls that has dudes in their group. Because the dudes are going to cock block you.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether intentionally or not.
Yeah. I
And
think
then
most of the time it's going to be very intentional.
Right.
They're going to pretend like it wasn't intentional, but they're going to intentionally cock block you.
And then for not cock blocking yourself, it basically said, don't go to the bar with the intentions of getting numbers. Because the guy who goes with the intention of getting numbers, at best, will leave with phone numbers. The guy who goes out with the intention of getting laid will at best get laid.
Yeah. And at worst, knock it down, you'll get a number for later.
Right. And the example it gave was if a girl's at the bar talking about, oh, I have the cutest cat at home named Whiskers, this cat's so cool. Don't just say, oh, I'd love to meet Whiskers sometime. Can I get your phone number? Just be like, hey, let's go meet Whiskers.
Well played.
Right? So I that one makes kind of sense.
Yeah.
And then the last one, this one, it must have just been worded weird. It said, always be closing. And the guy who wrote the article said, as soon as he starts talking to a girl, he starts touching them. Not sexually, but just like making contact. And then he says, just tell them straight up what your intention is.
I told you that earlier. You might get a whole bunch of rejections.
All right.
I don't know. I never went with that approach of just, walking up. How you doing? Want to fuck?
Nice shoes. Want to fuck?
Yeah. I love your glasses. Want to fuck?
I do got a thing for glasses, though. and pierced nipples. That's my... Oh, man.
Do you ask them? I have this thing for pierced nipples. Do you have any?
No, but I should.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I'm like...
Let me see them.
My fingers are crossed like, oh, please, please, please.
And when she says no, just say, prove it. You get a free look at boobs.
Yeah. Win-win.
Yeah. So my advice...
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, definitely don't be around the bathroom.
Right.
Do you go by yourself a lot?
Yeah.
I think that might be one of your... especially with the fact that you have a hard time figuring out if a woman is looking at you and might be interested in you. I think you should find a friend. I know that might be hard. We're talking a whole nother episode of how to find friends.
This is just we're no longer the man cave. We are now just Terry's therapy session.
Yeah. Okay. In today's session, why can't Terry find friends? Because I'm always mean. I don't like people.
I'm not mean.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But I think if you flew with a wingman, you might have a little. First off, you have an extra set of eyes to see if. If you're not able to pick up if a woman's looking at you, that they can tell
right
if a woman's looking at you. And also, it's just I think it plays into people having fun.
Right.
It is hard to have fun by yourself.
Yeah.
But if you have a buddy there and you guys are just chilling, you're singing along with the songs, you look like you're having fun.
Last time I went downtown with a buddy of mine, he ended up in the hospital.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that story. We won't go into that story, but yeah, it was a very, 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 I don't know if I want to classify it as a fun night, but it was a very interesting night.
I'll talk to him. I'll get his permission to use the story on the next episode. I don't want to air that out without his okay first.
Truth statement. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I think one of the biggest things if you went with somebody.
Okay.
All right. Well, hey, don't forget to check us out on Facebook at Official Man Cave Podcast, over on Twitter at The Man Cave 14, and over on Instagram at The Man Cave Podcast. And also we post this onto YouTube. But for the full, no safe space, no bullshit experience, check us out and subscribe to us over on Patreon. For only $1, you'll be entered in to win a UKEG 64-ounce stainless steel growler and all kinds of prizes that we give away. Again, you heard that right. For just $1, you could win a $140 fully pressurized growler. For $5 a month, you not only get entered in to win the prizes, you'll get exclusive access to special podcasts like the After the Show, or a piece of asses like we like to call it. Exclusive access to tell us what you want us to talk about and to give us feedback on topics from every podcast. And we'd like to thank our current patrons right now. We have Lance, Alex, Rachel, Zach with a K, Zach with an H, and Mark. Hey, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay with us. We'll see you next time here in the Man Cave.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Any real man would follow us on Patreon for exclusive content and prizes at patreon.com/The Man Cave Podcast. The Man Cave. No safe spaces, no bullshit.